Yay. Yo, 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 peeps. We're on the live stream with my man Javier and my man Sanbav. And we are rocking the CNB build packs learning meet. Cool. So we've got the document that people should hopefully sign into. And we'll try and get through it as quickly again as possible. There are a few things. We've got our standing items, but I might just move to those after we go through and just catch up on the things that we were talking about last time, just for fun. Javier, any updates on the season of doc stuff from the CNCF?
Basically, they just gave us a standby. I haven't heard back from that. I think Steven also caught wind of it. So we're definitely, it's in our crosshairs, but I don't think we have anything officially to get started. Am I wrong, Sam?
We got an email yesterday from CNCF. Are you subscribed to the CNCF maintainers list?
I should be, yes.
Okay.
But when you say yesterday, is that my time zone or yours?
Yours as well, I think.
Okay.
Might be late yesterday, like 6 o'clock New York, something.
Yeah. It was in the evening. Okay, cool.
But CNCF, so it was sort of weird. They said, please reply back if you're interested in participating under the CNCF umbrella, or just like fill out the form as an individual project. And I replied back to them, and they just said, go and fill out the form. I was hoping a bit more details than go and fill out the form. I was like, if there's anything specific, if you want to do this under the CNCF umbrella rather than proposing build packs as its own top level project. But yeah, if we propose build packs as the top level like project that our technical writers will apply to, then we have to fill out like the project proposal plan. And yeah, that's sort of different than what we typically do for GSOC, for example. CNCF applies as a organization, and we get 1 or 2 projects under CNCF.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's what I was under the impression, because even if you look at their repo, they only did it a handful of stuff, or times, I think maybe just once. And yeah, they had a project on there, a contour project. So it did seem like they were giving them a little bit more, what is it? Not necessarily guidance, but assistance. So that's interesting. But I do wonder if maybe they're just trying to minimize the work on their side.
Yeah, essentially. So there's that. I guess I wanted to discuss it in the meeting today, whether we want to apply it as a project, or should I just bug CNCF folks again if we can apply under their umbrella. I don't know if there's any preference we have.
I haven't gone through the form to know exactly what is required from it. I think a lot of it would hinge on that, right? If there's some information we can't provide.
We see, because the project form is public, so I can share that. It was posted by Google. Just the link to the form.
Content unavailable to me.
It won't work on your Bloomberg.
I know. Hey.
Just bust out your personal computer.
But the exact link to the form is this one. Hopefully that's right. So relatively not so short form.
Relatively not so short. What does that even mean? It's long. It's a
Polite way of
long.
saying it's a really long form. But it's got 6 steps and I can't even get past the first page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only see it if you fill in the details.
Okay, so I definitely don't mind, at least, I guess that's the other thing too, is like, are we talking like per project as a build pack project as a whole, or is it per project like the GSOC project where it's like a small unit of work? I would maybe assume the latter so that we could have, like, I think that would be a preference, right? If we could have multiple small um, units of work that we could propose as projects, more or less.
So to just give some context, there are a few example projects. Let me share screen. So there are a few example project ideas that Google has put in here. So like create a contribution guide or write tutorials for a library or reorganize documentation, like similar to, do you remember that the organization guide that Natalie shared a while ago, which was like 4 corners, like tutorials, reference, and forgetting the exact name of that guide, but we can ask someone to organize our tutorials in that fashion. We can have someone do like an audit of things that are incorrect or out of date and fix those. I think the only restriction is that it has to be documentation related. It cannot be a tool that you create to write more documentation, as far as I understand. So it can't be like a last, like it can't be like implement that Kata code auto generator thing that we did. Like that's not a that won't be a part of this. But we can be like write more Kata code tutorials. That can be a part of this.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely seems interesting. And I guess what is the current ask? Is it like, hey, do we want to take or leverage this? And if so, how do we strategize? Or is it just more like announcing, hey, this exists? If you see a need or you have a project in mind, go ahead and submit your stuff to this.
I think it's we propose projects, technical writers get selected and they get matched.
Yeah, no, I was thinking more on our side, like on the build pack side, right? Like, what do we want to do internally? Do we have like a single point of contact that sort of manages everything, similar to how the CNCF works, right? Like Eeyore typically would be the point of contact for anything GSOC related. Do you want to kind of do that internally so that anything season of docs related goes to either myself or you, Sam, or whoever wants to volunteer for that, right?
Yep.
And they're kind of more or less helping the people, like other people that might actually have project ideas, but not be burdened by the whole process.
Yep. I think that makes sense. I would imagine that whoever proposes the project idea will also have to be the mentor. It's like similar to GSOC, like whatever we do for GSOC, we'll have to figure out something similar. And yeah, I think that makes sense. Like we can split out the organizational bits from who's mentoring, because like for example, I think the organizational bits can only be handled by one of the maintainers, but the mentors can be one of the contributors, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be a way of doing it. I'm trying to think what else is on my plate. I know we're all kind of a little bit overloaded right now, but this seems important.
It can help facilitate if like someone else wants to, like if it's just like the form links and everything else will be public. So if it's just making sure that they can communicate with CNCF folks. If we want to go the CNCF route, we can do that. If we're just directly applying, then we can cut out the middleman. In that case, anyone can fill that form.
Yeah, I guess I was wondering if maybe I'll do this for a set of individuals. I'm thinking more specifically the team at VMware. I could be the point person and organize, be like, oh, hey, what are your doc ideas? Kind of, again, do the same thing that CNCF does for us for GSOC, where it's like, hey, just literally put this information in this format. I'll go and I'll apply for us, and then I'll give you the access to what's necessary. You still do all the candidate, selection process, and I just become a point of contact for anything season of docs.
Yep.
So I could do that for my team, and then I could extend it out to anybody else that wants to also do it that way. But obviously, they could go by themselves as well.
Yeah. I think the general sort of request we get most often is like build back author documentation.
Yeah.
We have a huge gap there.
And I don't think anybody on our team right now is focused on that. Right. And so I don't know how transparent we've been, but on the team I'm on, it would be myself, Natalie, Juan, Mikey, and Yao just came back. Right. So Emily's not part of it, and the KPAC group is, a separate team altogether.
Who's your current, if you don't know, we can talk later, that's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you're going to ask for ideas internally in your house about ideas for the for documentation projects, and we're going to ask in our house for ideas on documentation projects as well, and we'll talk it anon. Cool.
Yeah. I'll try to do as much of it as I can in the public, but I will try to drive my team to contribute to that.
That sounds good. Sambav, Credly badges.
I haven't had the time yet.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I think also there was a period of time in the last week or so where the service desk tickets were a bit inactive. I think they found appropriate replacements now, so it's fine.
Cool. So
I'll put in something.
Yeah, it's fine. It takes time to do these things. We understand that it's not part of everyone's day job, or it's in addition to everyone's day job.
The only question we had from leadership was the design of the badges, and
right.
I'll have to ask about that as well from the service desk, if they can design it for us and what design inputs they want.
Cool. Sounds good. Blue, I think, is good as a design input.
Purple or pink.
Then I put this last one on. I've been playing around with taking the shell script Ruby build pack and rewriting it in libcnb, because we've had requests for that. And I've written some of the documentation. I haven't pushed a PR yet because I don't want to push a PR with my personal GitHub module, my name in the GitHub modules and stuff like that. So is there somewhere I should plonk this code, or?
I would say any example code can go in typically Go repositories. You can just put an example.go file, or put it in a Go doc compliant format in libcnb and just link out to that.
Okay.
So I guess a little confused as to the ask. So are we saying I know there's the examples in Go doc form, right? Where you could do that, or in Go. is that what we're thinking this would be applied to, or are we thinking like, could this potentially go into the samples repo
Yeah.
as something that other people could find and look at?
I think what we discussed this in one of the past back meetings. The idea was if you are creating an end-to-end build pack, it should go in the samples repository. If you're creating examples of how to do one thing. So you remember how last time we talked about the app developer guide having like individual things like just do this, do this, do this. Those kind of examples should go in the libcnb docs. If you're creating an end-to-end build pack, that should go in the samples.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll throw in my little tidbit of what I recently ran into is I did want to create a build pack myself for something, and I really wanted to use Go, but I really couldn't get any like idea on how to use libcnb. And so for me, right, as the very simple-minded person, being able to go to like the samples repo and just being able to take that as kind of like scaffolding and then make modifications to what I needed to do, I think would have eased a lot of that workflow. And so I just went with a bash.
The other thought I had on that was, do you want Pack to become a scaffolding producer? So when you do a pack, build pack, create, or whatever the hell it is, do you want a flag in there to choose between Bash and Go?
Yes. So we already have that, right?
Oh.
We have a scaffolding, but it's only for Bash right now, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So there's no flag to switch between Bash and Go, is there?
Not that I'm aware of. I know that we've definitely talked about that, and that would like a nice to have for sure, or at least future planning.
Yeah, I think the plan was, as we last discussed it, that Pack would just be the tool that facilitates scaffolding, but it will not contain the actual templates, or the actual templates would either be imported somehow, or like it will have something similar to like the cookie cutter thing where you can provide a template repository as input.
Yeah.
So like the similar concept that we have as like default builders, there are certain templates that like certain builders that are defaults in Pack. So like we can have like a repository that contains the Bash template, the Go template, and Pack will have those as defaults. But if let's say the Paketo folks want a Paketo specific scaffolding tool in a repository in Pack, or like the Google folks want something for the Google build packs, or the Heroku folks want one for Rust. Like we don't want to be maintaining all of those in Pack, but we still want to be we still want to allow Pack to be able to scaffold build packs somehow.
Okay. I will look into that, because it would seem to make sense that whatever we have in the Hello World documentation should align with whatever we're intending to put into a scaffolding in Pack. And yeah, I mean, it seems like the Paketo project structure without the use of libpack is a reasonable project structure. I know the only difference is that in turn that on other build packs that I've worked on, we don't use the Paketo build system, because that just is a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, if we just for example code in a tutorial, we only need to be able to go build and go run test, or just go build, frankly, because if we remove the test problem from it, because I know there's no agreement yet over what test framework should be pushed.
Yeah, and then to Sam's point, right, being able to select from any sort of scaffolding source, that would be
that just removes the appearance of bias from
Right.
pack. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, because then I could have my own, opinion repository scaffolding template. So
Okay, I'll have a look into that, and we'll yeah, that's a better approach. Fantastic.
At some
Cool,
point,
okay.
I did some research into Go-based
Cookie
repository
cutters.
template. Yeah, there are a few tools out there. Um, it should be as trivial as just importing that and setting some defaults in there so that um,
Yeah.
you-
yeah, and I would say like that's the ideal case, right? But I don't know that anything should stop us from doing the two things we said prior, throwing it into samples repo and the libpack go examples go docs.
Okay. That goes.
libcnd, right?
Oh yeah, whatever. What did I say?
Libpack.
Libpack, yeah. Too many things to keep track of.
Yeah.
True.
How do you do it, Sam? I know this isn't the only project you're playing around with.
How do I keep track of things?
Yeah, keep track of everything. Just more mental capacity than I have, apparently. Yeah.
It's not mental capacity, just works somehow. I don't know. Whenever I hit a limit, I just dial back. Like I recently had to give away some of my projects. I think I gave a couple of them last month away, or just left them open
Mm-hmm.
for someone to maintain.
Interesting. Yes, I have not yet found a project management strategy that works, but we'll get there. There's still another 40 years left before retirement, so
There you go. Got it.
I'll let you know by then.
Then you'll write a book about it. Let us know.
I'm gonna when I retire, it will not be to write a book about project management.
Oh, you're not one of those people. Okay. Dang. All right.
No, it'll be to I don't know. I'll do something else. But cool. Okay. Well, thank you very much. We haven't gotten through the standing items. I don't think we need to go through them right now.
Do we want to remove them from these sending items? Should that be a discussion? I know we've kicked the idea around.
Yeah.
It should be a discussion. It's just probably not a discussion for today because we've got 2 minutes. And at least we need to periodically revisit them, I would think, because otherwise stale PRs will get even more stale than 1.5
What
years.
happened with the did we enable some stale bot-on pack?
We haven't yet.
No, I got a little bit of pushback, but I think I ironed those kinks out for at least pack.
Cool. Okay, so when it works for pack, we'll probably start adopting it in docs. Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you both for your time, and I will see you next Tuesday at the next meeting. Tuesday? I can't remember what.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll be out for 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I won't be seeing y'all, but good luck.
All right. You going anywhere nice?
I'll also probably be away till April first week or something.
Oh wow, okay. You've got more extended time. I'm going to California 1 week, taking Disneyland. So I'm gonna try to make the best out of it. I don't know that I'll be as happy.
You're pretending you're not gonna like it.
I'll pretend not to like it. When I see all my childhood heroes, like Toy Story characters and shit.
Yeah. And hot dogs and everything, what's not to love?
The lines. I'm not looking forward to the lines.
True. Okay, cool.
What
Well,
about-
have a good fun in Disneyland. In
Thank you.
California, you said? I thought it was in Florida.
No,
Yeah,
Disneyland is in California. It's Disney World in Florida.
Oh, okay.
They're too different. They're very different. I don't know. Disneyland's cheaper, and I have family there.
Family's good. Yeah. Cool. Right, well, I'll see you in 2 weeks then, Javier, and have fun. And I'll see Sambhav in about 30 minutes.
All right.